Yo, 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 what's going on YouTube? It's your boy Nate the Great coming at you with another live. You already know if you're new to the channel, like, share, comment, and subscribe. To all the returning friends and family, you already know it's peace and blessings. I'm gonna give y'all some time to tune in case these notifications ain't go out. First things first, hopefully everybody having a blessed and productive Taco Tuesday, Taco Tuesday. Hopefully everybody had a blessed weekend. Hopefully everybody had a blessed birthday weekend. Um, those who are still celebrating this week, hopefully you have another year, another blessing around the sun. Hopefully you enjoy every moment of your B day, you know. And again, take everything as is, you know. Appreciate everybody that tuned in last week, Wednesday, for the conversation. Definitely was a great conversation. Shout out to everybody who was a part of the convo. For those that missed it, you could catch the replay. Took the weekend off, you know, get some things cleared out the way. But I'm back, y'all. Gotta speak to the fellas real quick because again, this is another important one. Again, for some of y'all fellas out there, be careful on what you're doing. Be careful on the people you place around you, the ones that mean you no good, um, the ones who don't want to see you elevate. Start making it start making it a thing for real to just pay attention to everything around you. Angela, baby. Now, the reason why I say that is because, I've seen one or two little scenarios happen. And to be quite honest, I feel good only because, justice is being served. TT, what's going on, baby? I feel good about that situations because these men are properly getting what they supposed to be getting. You know, I'm sorry, but again, some of you fellas out there, you have to be careful and who you deciding to lay down with, and if you don't plan on building a family with them, um, with protection. In all cases, again, to avoid those situations, you need to start back wearing protection because it don't take that much to get a woman pregnant. And some of y'all are putting yourselves in a scenario because even if you're not the child's father, you placed yourself in a precarious situation because you decided to do things without being protected. Uh, One of the stories I heard was this woman lied, right? Knew who her child's father was, but instead threw it on somebody else. Scenarios that you hate hearing because, again, if you're going to be out here, you're going to be doing what you do. And I'm going to say that even for some of you ladies, again, be safe or be knowledgeable and be for real. If you know who your child's father is, don't try to dump it on somebody else because you feel that person's either going to be more responsible or you feel this is a perfect way for you to get some form of a come up for your child to get taken care of. It's not cool because what you technically doing is, again, you are putting a sense of doubt and you putting a sense of resentment in your children. Sorry, like, how can you sit here and expect your child not to feel a type of way when you lying about who their actual father is? Now, in this scenario right here, this woman lied, said that this man was her child's father. He stepped up, did the right thing, even though he technically got duped into it. You took that man for child support, knowing good and damn well that that wasn't your child's father. And I think that's another thing. Again, start being more clear, and fellas, start being more wise. Start taking those tests, even if you gotta get one of your damn selves. I'm sorry because should be no reason why a woman would try to take you for something and you're not even biologically the kid's father. So it's just this is becoming to a degree of just an overall disdain because now you paint a picture. You paint a picture that you wasn't keeping it real with a person that you were supposed to be with. Now again, you sat here and took this man child support, man then paid. Guess what? Now you come to find out, child ain't his. He did the right way, and I don't care how anybody feels. I feel any man should do that. If you come to find out that what was supposed to be your child ain't your child, you have all rights to file complaints, go to the proper courts, and try to get whatever back. And and that's the thing, that needs to change. If a woman falsely accuses somebody of being a child's father and it's not the case, then yeah, when the truth gets found out, they should be held on charges. Sorry, like how much you gonna keep lying and keep trying to lie, and you only get a slap on the wrist? It's not fair. The fact that that man again was still willing to do whatever, even though it probably was some doubts in his mind. But if any time you fellas do got doubts in your mind, again, go get you a swab test. Do something. Serious, baby. Sophia too, baby. Appreciate y'all. Appreciate y'all. No, but it's the truth. Like, come on, man. You took this man for money, basically, and then come to find out, you know, he ain't even the father. So guess what? He got his just due, and he got awarded. Even though he got to get paid in payments, don't matter. That man getting his money back. Over $37,000 in child support taken from that man, knowing that man wasn't even that child's father. That's sickening right there. Some of y'all women out there who are doing shit like that, you need to think twice. Or if you're thinking about doing something like that, you need to think twice. Because in certain points, in certain cases, that shit could come back to bite you in the ass. Sorry, it can. Now, this woman thought she was slick. Look what happened. Now you got to pay back $37,000. Now it don't matter if it's in payments or the full thing. You have to pay that man back because you lied. You ain't just lied to him. You lied to the damn state, basically. And that should be a crime. You lying to family courts and states saying that this person is a child's father, and then you don't even have proper DNA or proper proof that that is. That's a problem right there. This is a growing problem right here, and this shit needs to stop. Like I said a while back in one of my lives, 40% of men right now are taking care of children that's possibly not even theirs. Make that make sense? Why are they taking care of somebody who is not legally or even biologically theirs? Where's the children's fathers in these cases? Now, I know there are some scenarios that are a little different, but I'm excluding the ones that need to be excluded because, those ones different. I'm talking about the ones who still got contact or still know who the child's father is or can still get in contact. Where are those people at? Why are you not going towards them? And if they're not going to do right, then that's when you need to take those people. Stop trying to throw people under the bus for nothing. Stop throwing the wrong people under the bus. If you know for a fact who your child's father is, you need to go do what you got to do. But see, I know what it is to some degree. Some of y'all be dealing with people who are either in a serious committed relationship, got a family already, or married. And for the ones that ain't dealing with situations like that, there's some of y'all that just don't care. You want to be loose, you want to be wild, and then in the same token, now you gotta play guess on who's who. That's not fair. You know what's not fair? It's not fair to those children. It's not fair to your child because again, you are setting a rift right there. Like I said, most kids definitely want to have a bond in a relationship with both parents. It's key and it's important right there for that to happen. But some of you women will sit here and try to take the easy way out. There's no need to lie. If you know, again, who your child's father is, you need to make that clear. And you need to definitely do what's necessary. And again, if that person decides they don't want to be involved at any rate, then that's when you take the proper protocols if you feel so. I feel the child support should only go on those who are, again, fathers who don't want to take care, or mothers who don't want to take care of their children. Why you keep trying to put it on people who don't deserve it? You mess up certain people like that too. Like prime example, you put the wrong person on child support. They probably can't get their driver's license or get certain credentials in order because that's going to be lingering over them. That's why I said there are some things when it comes to the family justice system or the family court system. Some of those things need to be changed. Nah, we need proof that this is this child's father. Don't bring in the wrong person, and you know for a fact that ain't the child's father. Keith, what's going on, my guy? You already know, man. Just trying to, bring awareness to those who definitely need it, and bring a stern message because again, this is something that it needs to slow down now. Like, come on now. How long are you going to keep sitting here lying, lying about who your children's fathers are? It's not fair. Now, again, in that scenario I just spoke about, that man about to get his money back, even if it is a payment. So what? And it was another man just like that too. Almost what $25,000 in child support. He got he about to get paid back as well too. That's what I'm saying. These two cases right here is just prime example of why some of you fellas again need to be careful in what you don't. And when you know something ain't right, yeah, you gotta call that shit out. Call it out. Do what's necessary because I'm tired of seeing, good fellas out there getting caught up in the mix, getting caught in the madness. See, and then it'd be something like that when a man decides, I do decide to move on and everything else, prime example, after finding out those type of truths, they're gonna be scared to even think about trying to bring any kids in the world with anybody. Or they might just be scared to even date because they fear this is gonna happen. King, what's going on, my guy? You already know if y'all just tuned to hit the like button. Again, for some of y'all, I need to hear it. Be careful in what you do. Because don't worry, I'm calling it down the middle. Because again, we gotta have this fair warning. There's some of y'all out there who, again, you thinking on that lust factor, but you forgot that lust factor a lot of times will get you in a situation you don't want to get yourselves into. Who want to go through hell trying to prove something, basically to a court system? Nobody want to go through that. Again, if you know for a fact this ain't your child's father, be real with yourself. See, again, accountability. And this is what some of y'all women hate to hear. That word, accountability. Y'all don't want to take it. You need to start taking that, man. You know you messed up. All right. Take your lumps, take accountability, learn from that, and then you move forward. It's not fair. It's not fair that again you got good people out there getting caught up just because of situations like that. Like I said, unless you really plan on building a family with this person, you need to strap it up. Fellas, again, strap it up. Ladies, make sure you protect it as well. Because again, it's a two-way street. You forgot there are still certain diseases that are moving around. And you got people right now in the world who are burning hot, excuse me to say it that way, burning hot and won't say a damn thing to anybody. Just take that into accountability. Take that into responsibility. Mess around, slide up in something, slide up in the wrong thing, and now you either done caught herpes or it could be worse. What you think is worse than herpes? I'm gonna just leave it like that. Those three words. Matter of fact, let me say it again. There's one thing worse than having that. And those are the other two words. And I gotta be careful, I know, because YouTube and they rules. I gotta be careful. But y'all know what I'm talking about. The 3 letter and the 4 letter word are the two worst ones to get wrapped up in. Because that's not saying that that's a unalive sentence, but it can mean a lot of changes for your body, a lot of changes for you as a person. And you should try to take as much care as you can when it comes to your overall body and your health status. Now, what I was just saying for real is the truth. If some of you fellas who definitely need to be careful and what you don't. And again, if you don't plan on being responsible, then again, you should do what's necessary to protect yourself. You know you're not really ready for any form of responsibilities, taking care of a child or having to deal with that. Then again, fellas, you need to be careful in what you do. Ladies, the same thing. Susanna, baby. I'm sorry, but these type of stories are starting to get a little bit too, not so much as just close to home, but it's just becoming a sad reality. Y'all want to be out here being all irresponsible and not thinking. It only takes that one moment in time to mess yourself up. Or it takes that one moment in time to basically put you in a position that you might not be prepared for. I think that's a problem. Thank you, Sirius. The house in Virginia. Nobody don't want that house in Virginia. They definitely don't want the other 4 letter word. I'm gonna start mixing those up. I'm gonna be careful on it. But again, there is some things y'all need to be careful for. Those two right there are setting you up for worse possibilities. Now there are some people who ended up contracting those two things in particular, and some of them have outlived longer than they was scheduled to live, basically, which means they was doing the most important things they were supposed to do. But again, if you don't plan on getting yourselves in that situation, you better be careful. I just watched a video with a woman who was out with some friends. I don't know. I guess the friends decided to leave, or they had a little fallout. The girl decided to stay. She partied with somebody, and this is what I'm saying with y'all. Some of y'all be out here drinking a little too heavily and not paying attention to what you don't. Some of y'all don't even pay attention to your drinks. So it's easy for somebody to slip something in there and mess you up completely. So you better think about that as well too. Be careful. Because again, this is not a joke no more. Your health is the most important. Dee Dee, baby. Now, this woman decided to stay with somebody. One thing led to another. The next day, she was feeling kind of off. The next thing you know, she kept getting certain fevers, wasn't feeling herself, then started getting crazy bumps that I ain't gonna lie to you. The way her face looked, it's sad. It's like she didn't know what was going on until she went to that doctor and found out. Found out she had house in Virginia. Again, you have people out here who are deceiving people and not being truthful about their overall health status. So this is why, again, you need to be more careful. I'm sorry, but it's crazy because this woman definitely looks like it's almost full blown. For your face to end up having these type of bumps and acne scars that just don't look right on you at all, it says something. That means you were sitting here for a minute not knowing that you was infected. And that's a problem. And again, the minute you do find out something, you need to start preparing yourself. But I would say to avoid that, just be careful again on who you laying up with. Be careful in who you giving your body to. Because again, if a person is not going to be truthful with their overall history, that could be a problem. And depending on where you meet this person again, that says a lot and speaks volumes. Fellas, the same way with you. Slide up in the wrong thing, end up hurting yourself for life. You know? I'm not no medical expert on certain things, but I just go by common sense and what's been read and what's been shown to me. And again, the fact that, when it comes to those two scenarios, that, the numbers are still kind of high. I think that's a problem. And again, for some of y'all that might be trying to go down a certain road, you better know what comes with that road. That road leads to nothing but pain, heartache. And it's going to change a lot in your life if you're not responsible enough. Some of y'all need to read up on the symptoms or read up on certain things to make sure you're not in that type of scenario. And I'm sorry, but it's just time for y'all to really start caring about yourselves more and just thinking about your overall safety. That again, this woman finds out she has what she has, and it's gonna be a slow battle. It's gonna be a slow battle trying to keep it just at that level right there. But any slip ups or mishaps or anything along those lines, and it could turn into something else. Again, you should be careful with your body because again, you don't know who's been doing what. You don't know who been doing what. You don't know who lips been where. And like I said, it's just protocols. When things don't look up to par, you need to think twice before you decide to take that risk. But my thing is, be careful in the decisions you're making. Some of you will make irrash decisions just because you're drunk. But you can't use that as an excuse no more because, again, you should have yourself under some form of control. If you already know you get to a certain length or level, especially while you've been inebriated, you need to calm yourself down. You know, you need to really take precautionary steps. It's nothing to play with no more. And again, once once you start going through certain changes, it'll show. Prime example with people who have had cancer or have beaten cancer, you notice the differences when it comes to chemotherapy and everything else that they're using. Some people might not have to use chemo, but they might have to get those injections or those infusions. And even that right there is something you got to be careful for, you know? But you see the physical reactions to it. It tear you up something different if you don't get yourself right. Ladies, I'm gonna say this. If you know person you having relations with is not responsible, I don't think that's something that you should be trying to build with or build off of. Like some of you who try to trap people. That's one thing I have seen. Some of you who try to literally trap people into staying with you. The best way for you to be tricking people, that's how y'all see it, is lying and saying that you're pregnant. You've had some people that's backfired on, lying, telling somebody that they last had relations with just because you can't see the visuals. Oh, I'm pregnant with your child. But again, what happens if that person is having doubts and questions? What you think they gonna do? They're not just gonna sit here and embrace anything. They're gonna find out and make sure that's not the case. But again, I think that's something that a lot of y'all should be taking into consideration. Now, if you the ones who have known to be using protection at all costs, then when you hear something like that, you definitely need to make sure, even if you have been safe, just make sure. It's a tricky world out there. Tony. And again, I think that it's sad when you can sit here and blatantly lie on a scenario like that. Some of y'all forgot about that story about the boy that cried wolf, or it can be on any instance. You keep crying wolf, and when something does happen, ain't nobody gonna believe you. If you keep lying on certain ones and saying that they're your kid's father when you know it's not the case, at some point you're gonna get that comment. You're gonna get what's coming, and you're gonna get hit with some real truths. Again, don't just try to throw responsibility on somebody. And again, especially if you know for a fact they are not the child's father. Fellas, be sure that that's your child. I don't care if the woman say that's your child. You definitely take the precautionary steps and make sure that that's what it is. Because if it's not, you don't have to volunteer to too much of anything, especially when you have proof. And that's what a lot of you brothers need to remember. Make sure you have that DNA proof that that's not your child, especially if you having doubts about certain things. Some men will know off the rip because, again, genetics don't lie and the features don't lie. And again, when somebody is responsible enough to remember times and dates, that's another important step. It's another important characteristic to making sure you're keeping yourself safe, fellas, is knowing when. And if the times or even the months don't add up, then you already know where to go from there. But still, make it your effort. And I mean this. Make it your effort to make sure that you're safe on all angles. You get tired of hearing stories like that. Now, again, think about it. For your lies, you got to pay back that man $37,000. Money that we know for a fact you don't have, because if you had it, trust me, you probably would have been able to give it back in one shot. Platty, baby. Again, we got to get to that notion. Stop lying to yourselves and stop lying on good people. I don't think that's fair, because you got to think about it. Time wasted, money wasted. That could have been money going towards that person's better well being. And then some of you who are so vindictive and so devious that, again, you have this mindset to say, I'm just going to throw the responsibility on somebody else. It ain't fair. And again, that's something that shouldn't be presented. That's something that should be suppressed to a degree. Because again, some of you come on here and give the wrong type of ideas when you say things like that. There's some of you who will come on here and blatantly sit here and not care that you, again, put something on somebody that ain't true. It ain't fair. Now again, guess who's suffering in the long run? The child or the children. In that scenario right there, is this girl going to do right? Let's see. Paying back that money should make her think twice about it. Appreciate you for dropping those links, serious baby. Working hard in these damn pigeons out here, baby. But yeah, just it's sad right here. It's sad that you can sit here and think that this is what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna put myself in a precarious position and then lie. What does that child get out of it? That's who really getting the short end of the stick. That child or them children. And some of them at some point will realize that. See, for some of y'all who are bringing children into the world, this should be the most joyfulest time of it. It should be a blessing because, again, you got to think about those who can't have them. You got to think about those who didn't get the chance to have them. You got to think about a chance. Well, you got to think about the ones who getting their kids taken away just because they too irresponsible. That's another thing you got to think about. You are lucky and blessed to have children. Why not try to raise them the best way? And why not be truthful while doing so? Destroys the balance again when you lying about scenarios that you know for a fact you shouldn't be lying about. It's not unfair just to the person that you lying on or trying to put the responsibility on. It's wrong towards the kids. Because again, what happens if there is some form of bond being built? Now you basically just messed that up. And some of you will completely mess a lot of that up by just not being real. I've seen scenarios where dudes made it be clear. We probably could have worked some things out and we probably could have moved past this. But for the fact that I asked you and lied to me in my face says a lot. There's no need to lie to your quote unquote partner, especially if you really are pregnant. Shouldn't lie, ladies. Sorry. Some of you wonder why there are men right now who are bypassing you. We're not going to sit here, you know, as a whole and continue with the nonsense. If you keep yourself again humble and just do what's necessary for things will look a lot better. Lucy, what's going on? I think that's a problem. Some of y'all will be careless and irresponsible. And then instead of taking responsibility for your mistakes and your mishaps, you try to throw it off on somebody else. And then, like I said, to go and lie to family courts and say that this person is the father when you know they're not. That should be a crime right there because you are lying. Again, even under oath, you are lying. Be sure that you got the right person. And if you know the right person, again, you better take the necessary steps. James, what's going on, my guy? It's sad again when you hear stories like that. That's why I said, fellas, be careful. You don't want one night turn around and mess up some of your life. And you got to be careful and again who you laying down with, and you got to be eerie on all cylinders. I'm not saying all women, so I don't want nobody to get confused. But there are some women out there who are evil and spiteful. and will do anything again to try to cause pain and misery to somebody because they've been dealt some pain and some misery. Ain't that sad right there? Now, again, ladies, just be careful because, again, like I was just saying about the previous situation, you'll mess around and put yourself in a scenario where you could catch the house in Virginia or worse. Or you could get the all is damn screwed. And y'all should know what that is. All is damn screwed. All for temptation and pleasure, right? Some people not going to spot certain issues, right? We get that. But when you notice noticeable issues in certain scenarios, nah, you supposed to stay away from it. Like some of you women out here will have children with same men that you claim are no good. But if you know they no good, why did you lay up with them unprotectedly? It's the same way with some of you fellas. You'll cry about, oh, some of these women is out here, they hoes, they this. But you knew what it was and you still laid up with it and you still try to cuff it. So you can't complain about nothing, huh? I'm sorry, but if you're going to make careless decisions, you need to take accountability and responsibility. I can sit here, prime example, and have relations with 4 women unprotectedly. 9 out of 10, and all 4 of them don't get pregnant. It could be a possibility 1 or 2 of them get pregnant. Now, whose fault is that if I got to sit here and go through certain things? That's nobody's fault but mine because I'm supposed to take accountability. I was supposed to be responsible for myself and not do something that I know for a fact I'm not prepared for or do something that I know for a fact could come with a headache. Some of you men can avoid situations like that, especially when it does come to child support. But again, stop letting your hormones get the best of you. Men text, so what's going on? Angela, appreciate you, baby. Platty, I ain't doing nothing. You know that already. No, I'm just saying. It's just the principle. If I was to sit here and do all of this, right, and something was to happen, who fault is that? Who got to take the responsibility? It's me. I'm gonna have to deal with that. I'm gonna have to be accountable for my actions, and I'm gonna have to be responsible for whatever. But if I do what's necessary, if I keep myself restrained, self control, and discipline, if I decide to just keep myself for just that one person, hey, I'm doing my job right there because I'm avoiding all forms of mayhem. Nobody can lie and say, oh, you was out here doing this. No, I wasn't. And if I was, guess what? I was protected. So again, there is no slip ups. You know, I hear you, bro. I hear you. Shoot, I'm at work now. But you just gotta be more responsible, fellas and ladies too. Because again, like I just said, some of y'all be quick to want to lay down with the same men you say no good or the same men that are irresponsible. So if you know all of that about these people, why would you put yourself in a scenario just because you still want to test the waters? Again, that temptation. That temptation to put you in a world full of hurt. Fellas too. They'll be crying. Oh, well, shouldn't have did this. It's too late. You did it already. Once the actions are done, there ain't no going back from that. There is no going back from it. Especially again when you decide to be unprotected and not be responsible for yourself. You know? Saying that's a clear problem I see. Get caught up in the get caught up in the physical instead of saying, wait a minute, let me make sure that this person is playing with a full deck. Let me make sure that this person sees at least eye to eye to me when it comes to certain scenarios. And again, just making sure that they are on the level that they need to be on. Come on now, man. What the kangaroo rubbers? Never mind. I ain't messing with y'all in this damn chat. As soon as I look in the chat, look at this. Look at this. That's it. Serious, lock the door. Platty and James can't go nowhere. The hell y'all talking about kangaroo rubbers? Yeah, we're gonna get back to that after this, though. We're gonna get back to that after this. But again, you fellas out there have to be careful. Ladies, again, it's time for some of y'all before you even think about certain things. Think about your body. Think about the risk that you're taking. Fella, the same thing. Think about the risk you're taking. You know, and that's the thing, though. If you decide you're gonna be raw dogging, fellas, know what comes with that. Know that at some point you raw dogging. Guess what? Will be a possibility of that egg getting fertilized. The only way I would say that you're safe from any form of whatever is if that woman already got a tube tied or if she can't have kids for whatever health reason. And then even still, it's a toss up because there's people who was diagnosed or was told they would never have kids and end up having those miracle kids. So we can't forget about that situation either. Just be careful, you know. Now, going back to the main topic at hand again, I feel happy for those two fellas who are about to get their money back because it's sad. You have people who will sit out here and lie to the fullest extent. And then you come to find out they lying for nothing. And it ends up biting them back in the butt. Sorry, man. Again, if you're not planning on being responsible for yourself, don't cry later. And you can't blame nobody again but yourself. Because you are the one who are taking the initial steps. Nobody's forcing you to do nothing. Nobody's putting a gun in your head. Nobody is threatening your family for you to go out here and put yourself in a precarious position. Think that's a problem right there. And some of y'all can avoid these situations. Like I said before, be careful in who you dealing with. It's not fair that you got to keep hearing stories like that. And again, you got to think about how many people out there could possibly be going through that same scenario right now. Either paying child support or taking care of a child that's not theirs. It's unfair. Get it? Some of y'all understand the dynamics of having a father figure around your child. But again, some of y'all need to be careful in what you do. And when you do have somebody, or even if you and that person are not together, but come to find out you and that person are expecting a child. If that person is willing to be responsible and do what's needed, then let them do so. See, this is where some of y'all will mess up your children. Because when you have those who really do want to take care of and do what's needed for theirs, you won't let them be a part of. And again, this is not all of you, but this is some of you. put yourselves in a position. And some of you will mess up your livelihoods and your happiness and tear up something just because, again, you end up ripping a hole in somebody. Again, just think about how that man is going to feel when he find out all this time he been taking care of children that are not his. How you think he going to feel? In most case scenarios, a lot of them are going to be angry. A lot of them are going to definitely walk off on you. A lot of them ain't even going to think twice about you. But it's still going to hurt. Why? Because if they built a bond with that child or built a bond with them children, you just broke all of that up. But again, I would say if you know for a fact who your children's fathers are, let them do what's needed. And if they not, then again, that's when you do what's necessary. You take out that child support and do what's needed. Stop trying to put anybody on child support just because you think you could do it. Yeah, but you know what's crazy, Platty? You have people out here like that, lying or basically destroying their own foundation. And I'm sorry, but some of you will mess up your own happiness and foundation just because of the things you've done. There's some of y'all who think you can lie forever. You can't lie on somebody forever. You can't lie and play around and think that at some point you ain't gonna get that karma back. You wanna know how that karma hits for some of you ladies? Again, lying. You not just lied to a person that you was trying to throw something on, you lied to yourself and you lied to your children. You basically just destroyed whatever. And if somebody does decide they want to come along and be a part of your life, guess what? The first thing you'll say is, well, if you want to be with me, then this is the part of the deal. Again, throwing responsibility on somebody. Let somebody decide if that's what they want to do. There was a situation where a woman lied. She was meeting up with somebody. I guess this was a blind date. It was an internet blind date. They basically met up because they was talking for a while. Now, this woman had asked him maybe once or twice in the conversations that they had, do he do he like children or do he see himself having children in the future? Now that man was honest, and he said, Right now I can't see myself having nothing. The only thing I can see myself doing is trying to better myself and trying to get in a better position. When that time comes to have a conversation, it could be had. Now again, you met up with this person, you lied about two things. Those two things was you lied about who you was as a person. You basically catfished them. You showed them pics of somebody that wasn't even you. And then you come to tell him that you have a child. Something that you should have told him from the beginning. See, this is one thing for some of y'all. Stop lying. If you know you got children, prime example, you trying to do this quote unquote online dating. Be real about who the hell you are as a person. If you got kids, hey, don't be ashamed to say you got kids. Let a person decide if they still going to try to deal with you or not. I think that's a problem. When you could sit here and again lie and lie for no reason. Now, how you think that man felt? I come to meet up with somebody I've been talking to and come to find out, number one, they lying about who they are as a person. And they also lied about not having children. But you got children. So you thought you was going to meet up with that person. That person was just going to accept not one, but two different lies. You got the world messed up, man. You can't lie to people on that level and then think that somebody is gonna just overlook it. Some people will walk clear away from that. Some people will definitely let you have it. And all rights, they have a right to let you have it. Because why would you lie about who you are as an individual? If you want and are seeking some form of real love and whatever, then again, be real about who you are as a person. Not everybody is gonna, everybody is gonna, not everybody is gonna be your type, just like you're not gonna be everybody else's type. But you should be worried about, again, how that person is gonna perceive you. You just sat here and lied saying that you don't have kids. But then you come to meet me and I come to find out you got kids. And that's the thing though. Ladies, you looking for a good man or a decent man, and guess what? Be your true self. Fellas, same thing. And some of y'all out there claiming y'all looking for the right things. Be yourself. You can't be nobody else but yourself. If somebody can't accept you for who you are, imperfections, flaws, and all, then hey, you keep it moving. You got to remember to you know, keep yourself on the positive, on the up and up. Because at some point, you will get what you're seeking. And I think that's sad right now. Some of y'all are either insecure or you just too scared, or you'll let your pride mess up whatever good things you might have going. If you just be yourself, you might not be somebody's acquired taste. That don't mean you ain't. That don't mean somebody ain't gonna be looking for you. That don't mean somebody won't look for you. That don't mean you ain't gonna find nothing. You gotta be real with yourself, man. It's a sad thing to again be in this scenario. And again, I want you men and women out there who are not in these positions yet to think twice before you make any decisions that could be costly. Because if you don't have to worry about a 9 months later, you won't have to worry about a doctor's visit or consistent doctor's visits if you end up dealing with somebody who has the house in Virginia. But think about that. You get one life as far as a physical life. You should want to try to keep yourself in the best physical shape, in the best physical form. The healthiest way, a lot of times, again, be careful in what you don't. Protect yourselves at all costs. There's a reason why those numbers, when I speak about those other two scenarios, are still high. Because we still have a lot of people out here who are lying. We have a lot of people who, you know, even if these people find out what they need to find out, some of these people will still take those risks and those chances. They ain't worth it. Definitely ain't worth it when you have to worry about seeing yourself to an early dismissal. I'm just gonna leave it like that. Love yourselves enough to know my body is my temple. My body is supposed to stay as strong and as cleansed as possible. You can't have a good temple, prime example, when you got things that are polluting your body that again can take you out quick. I'm sorry, but at what point do some of y'all really again get the message? There's some of you who should get the message because I'm quite sure there are people who have told their stories and have given fair warnings, especially to those who need to hear it. So again, some of y'all need to receive that message and don't take it for granted. Again, for some of you ladies, you'll find out the hard way like that lady just found out. When you are going to certain events, when you are going to certain places, again, be careful because a night of drinking or a night of just careless partying can mess you up something serious. Now, if that girl and her friend didn't have that little fallout, and if the friends didn't leave, 9 out of 10, they all would have left together. And maybe this doesn't happen. Again, ladies, follow your instincts. Fellas, same thing. Something don't seem right, follow your gut. Riders, baby. Y'all already know if y'all just tuned in, hit the like button. And if y'all new to the channel, like, share, comment, and subscribe. But be careful out there. Because again, there's things that you shouldn't have to learn the hard way. For some of you who are old enough to know better, again, do better. You have to be careful in them scenarios again. And I think it's a real life changer when again you learn to just be yourself, but also keep yourself safe. I can't tell everybody what to do. I can't tell you how to live your life. I can't instruct you on too much. I can just give you fair warning and fair conversation. Don't worry, James. I heard the ambulance once tonight. Let's hope we don't hear it again. If we do, we know there's a problem. Now again, just think about that. Some of y'all ladies should take you should take a real good stance on that and learn from this scenario right here. The cost of your lives a lot of times will set you up for the long run in the future. Now again, that lie that she concocted is costing her $37,000 in back child support payments. Yeah, you're going to pay that man back because you lied. It's unfair. And I feel that should happen on all levels. And even still, like I said, there should be charges brought up because, again, you lied to the court system. I feel any lie like that towards any court system, your ass should be held up on charges. That's like you lying and saying that a man did something to you and you know they didn't do it. You're going to ruin that man's life or credibility because you put a lie out there like that. You don't think you should take some form of responsibility? You don't think you should get hit with the same crown somebody else would be getting hit with? Come on now, man. Because you're lying. You're lying under oath. Some of y'all think it's a game when you're playing with people's lives, but guess what? You're going to end up playing with yours in the same token. There are some scenarios where people have lied and said things that wasn't true. And when the truth came out, what you think happened? If they ain't get karma from the streets, they got karma from the Lord itself. So is it really worth putting yourself in even that form of danger just because you can't take accountability on certain things? It's not fair. So I said, fellas, be careful. To be quite honest, for any of you fellas, the minute a woman say no, leave it be. That right there will diffuse anything. And some of you have to take no because again, you're not going to always hear yes. You're not always going to hear yes. Now, if somebody feels like this is something that they not comfortable with, they don't want to do so, respect it. And I'm gonna say that again to some of the fellas that might need to hear it. Once that woman say no, respect that. And I would say that also for some of you women out there. When there's certain scenarios when a man tells you no, respect that. If you can't respect that, there's a problem. And you will continue to have a problem. I hear you, Platty. I hear you. But that should be common sense for some people. You can't go around playing around with people's time and their energy. So now it's not gonna look good on your behalf, you know? Fellas, once somebody do say no, just keep it pushing. This way you don't get wrapped up in that. And even if there's a scenario, hey, you can't get brought up in that. Nope. This person told me no, I respected it, and I left the scenario alone. It's sad in some scenarios because it's almost like, again, you know, it almost feels like you got to record all of your day to day actions just to be safe. It's not right. It's not right for some of you to do the things that you're doing. And then some of you will again come on here and blatantly say what you don't and not have any care in the world. Another thing I said, if a person can't be true to you in a relationship, or if there are signs that this person is not being truthful to you, then you need to do what's necessary to again follow your gut. But I would say this again: if you having doubts about somebody on that level, if you know for a fact you got solid information that this person is just not right in any way, shape, or form, better think about it. Better think about your next steps because you can't sit here and cry and mope and look for sympathy and sorrow when you wasn't thinking about yourself in the first place. You know, I think that's sad though. But remember this one part: once you make a certain decision, there is no coming back for that. I think that's reasonable right there. It's reasonable for you to again think before you do things. But in so many words, just like Siri said earlier, coming back to that. There is no coming back once you make a certain decision. Now again, it should be just common knowledge. If I don't plan on having this person as my significant other and partner in crime for life, if I don't plan on building some form of a family with this person, if me and this person are not connected on a level where there should be any of that involved, then again, be wise in your decision making. It's not fair. It's not fair to yourself, and it's not fair to anything else around. Now, I'm gonna say on this level, you got some people who are going to be responsible if they find out or know that they're expecting a child. There are some who are going to be prepared for that. They're going to be joyful and happy, and they're going to be getting everything in order. And then you're going to have some who you know for a fact is not responsible. If you're going to lay up prime example with somebody that's running around making babies all wild crazy and not being responsible with either one of those kids, that's something you're going to have to live with. Again, some of you will cry about there's no good men out there. But how would you know if you are doing your damnedest to be with people who are irresponsible? Then you'll say all men are the same. No, you can't say that. You can't say all men are the same because again, you haven't been with all men around the world. And again, look what you putting out there. You want something good, you got to be able to bring something of substance and value. If you can't do that, then you got to go back to the drawing board. I'm sorry, but I can honestly say that you're gonna keep hearing scenarios like that until some of these women now get it together. And again, you need to get it together. Why lie to yourself and why lie to your children? Sorry, but in this day and age right now, there's too many ways to find out the truth. And especially when you are sitting here blaming somebody or putting responsibility on somebody that you know ain't yours. Let that $37,000 that woman about to pay back be a truthful reality to some of you. There's only so much you can lie before that lie catches up with you. So if you're gonna keep lying and putting the blame on somebody else, expect that lie to blow up in your face at some point. And remember who's suffering in the long run. Again, fellas, be careful in what you're doing. Ladies, you too. Be responsible for your bodies. Be responsible for who you place around you. The minute you lose focus or the minute you lose sight, put yourself in that position right there. Give me a second, y'all. Again, hopefully somebody is getting something out of this. But again, make sure that these people are mentally stable and make sure that they're going to be active if these are people who are your children's fathers. Make sure that they're going to be who they say they're going to be. I think that's the most important thing. See, again, a lot of you put yourselves in precarious positions because you don't vet out the people that you are trying to quote unquote build with. And again, something that anybody should be doing. I can't just give you my all and 9 out of 10, you ain't gonna keep up yet. And again, some of y'all will put yourselves, and some of you men too, put yourselves in these positions because you want to lay with the community pot. You'll crime over about there's nothing good out there, or everybody's the same. Not everybody thinks the same, moves the same, or acts the same. So just because you put yourself in a position, I don't mean everybody else has to be grouped up or a part of that scenario. Again, take accountability in your actions. If you slipped up once, don't slip up again. The main thing is not making the same mistakes twice. And I think that's critical for some of y'all to understand. But yeah, that's something to think about though. Y'all think that that lie was worth that much headache, heartache? And again, think about it. If that child and that man was building a bond together, you just messed that up. There are some people who, if you are in a certain scenario, you got a child, maybe two, with somebody that was whatever, okay. There could be scenarios where you'll meet somebody who's going to accept the whole package, right? But again, let them decide that. Don't just try to force it or throw it on them. And if anything, if they decide this is what they're going to do, then you should have the utmost respect, especially if they're doing what's needed and necessary. Because again, I do feel that it is important that the children have both mother and father, bonds with both. But it's sad that some of you will waste half of your primes making the wrong decisions, but then when it's all said and done, now you looking for this. Now you're looking for that. By a certain time, it might be too late. Again, be more responsible, be more careful, and definitely be more proactive in your decisions. You know, the worst thing you can do is again lie on a person and say that they are responsible for something that they're not responsible for. Chill, Will Crew, baby. And that's one way to look at it, Platty. For some people, they should try to go with that notion, but we know different time and era. Again, can't tell everybody what to do, but you can give some helpful advice. And this is the most helpful advice for the night. I think it's important, again, for some of y'all to think clearly in the decisions that you're about to make. Because if those decisions could definitely have a bad impact, who's going to be left holding the ball? I strongly urge that some of y'all get back to using protective measures for your body. Fellas, you got to be careful too. Discard of what you need to discard of in certain scenarios because you have some women out there who are doing devious shit. We've heard stories of people who found that they was taking the condoms that was used by these men and inseminating themselves or taking the turkey basters, etc., etc. Can't be too careful. If you think you laying down with somebody who is shady and devious, you need to definitely be careful because that right there will be a bad scenario for you. You got people poking holes in condoms. Be careful, and again, all your protective measures. Because that's the worst type of entrapment. Next to lying, that's the worst type of entrapment. Again, make sure that the person you are deciding to lay down with is mentally capable and stable. Make sure that they really have a good head on their shoulders. Because again, the minute, and I mean the absolute minute, you start seeing changes in that, better start being careful and wise. Also, be careful, like I said. If you have doubts about certain things, fellas, you better remember times and dates because those are going to be critical. But again, even if you are confused on that, just do the necessary. Again, that's the worst type of scenario when you can sit here and again lie, lie on paternity, and that's something that needs to be stopped. That's something that needs to be a crime. If you lie under oath or if you lie and make false accusations, you should be held responsible and you should be held to the fullest extent. Because regardless to what, you know right from wrong. But some of y'all will allow your emotions to override everything. No doubt you will. Yeah, I mean, I'm just saying. Some people need to understand this. Now, again, think about that. You lied on somebody, and now you got to pay back money that you done took from this person. And trust me, them courts are going to make sure that that person get their money. And if they don't get their money, guess what? They should treat you like how they would treat a man that's not making their payments. Should be held responsible and held to the fullest extent of accountability. Sad that again, you got good men out there, and this is another reason I feel some good men out there will be even more, be even more executed when it comes to certain scenarios because they see what's going on with the people amongst them. You know, oh, I know, chill, I know, but no, everybody just need to be responsible. If you don't plan on really having a future with this person and building a family and building a strong clan with that person, then wrap it up. If it get to a point now, prime example, if you are dealing with each other, you are serious about each other. If you really feel you're going to take that next steps, then you do what you do. But come on now, be more careful and more responsible when it comes to that. Because now if you know you're not prepared for these type of scenarios, how you going to take care of your scenario? How you going to take care of your situations? You know, in order to avoid a lot of that, I would say again, some of y'all men and women, just be careful in what you don't. And if you gonna be out here wilding for respect, like I used to say, be out here wilding for respect, you better know what's coming with that. If you ain't safe, put yourself in a situation where your health could start declining on you, or you put yourself in a scenario where now you have to be responsible for mouths to feed. That's what I'm saying. You shouldn't have to go through certain scenarios just to keep yourself safe as far as Shouldn't have to go to that extent. I shouldn't have to snip or clip anything. I should just be more careful in what I'm doing. That should be the mindset for something. I should be more careful. And that's exactly what you need to do. Have that stuck in your mind that you need to be more responsible for yourself more than anything. You can't blame nobody else for anything that happens outside of you. Facts, but this is what I was saying, James, all in all. Once these scenarios get brought up, that's why I feel mandatory DNA testing. As soon as that child is born, it should be under it should be underway. Because again, a man wants to be sure. A man wants to be careful. You know. So again, you want to make sure that this is going to be your child coming into the world, so you can be better prepared. But then again, you have a right to know the truth because again, you don't want to be falsely taking care of somebody and it's not yours. Because that's a waste of time right there. I'm sorry. That's a waste of time and it's just more headaches when it's all said and done. For the ones that want to be wild and quote unquote want to be free, just know what comes with that. The link is pinned in case anybody want to chime in on the topic. Careful execution. You know, prime example, if you know somebody married, you should stay far away from that scenario. And I say that on both ends. Some of you fellas getting wrapped up in scenarios knowing what you know. The ones I feel bad for are the ones that get lied to and don't have a clue about what's going on with this person. But again, I feel if you're going to try to move on and do whatever with your life, yo, first things first, even if you are with somebody, if you feel that type of way, then don't keep leading the person on and definitely don't add nobody new into the mix. Because all you doing is creating and causing conflict. Fellas, you know she married. I don't care if she says she's separated. Until that divorce is final, and until you know all of that, be careful with that. Or don't even do it at all. Same thing with you ladies. There's some of you who get caught out there. Oh, I know this person they ain't happy with they significant other. They gonna leave them for me. You feeding yourself false hope. Look how many women have cried and moped about that same scenario. I thought this person was gonna leave. I thought this person was gonna be with me, and then got sold a limited dream. So again, be careful, fellas. Again, be more responsible, be more wise, and more considerate when it comes to your decision making. Because these scenarios right here should tell you everything you need to know. When you know a person is really truly down for you, there's nothing that's going to stop the inevitable. And some of you who think that being irresponsible and careless is a thing to do. But just remember this, and this is on both ends. Again, you're bringing children into the world and not being responsible for them. At some point, karma's going to strike you in the worst way. And that karma is going to be, guess what? A broken, a broken family, broken spirits. For some of y'all, it's time for y'all to stop before you make the most irrash decisions. Think carefully. And again, if you're not building with this person for the future, you shouldn't be worried about having children. And again, the link is pinned in case anybody want to chime in. I feel like this is something that we got to keep having convos on and revisiting. And this scenario right here, like I said, I can't feel bad for the girl because you lied. You didn't just lie to that man, you lied to the courts. And you also lied to your children. You can't come back from that. The only thing you can do is take accountability, learn your lesson, and learn not to make that same mistake again. Because again, those type of mistakes will cost you. Your body is the most important thing. Your mind, the most important thing. The most important thing you can use is your mind. And if the feeling is right, then you follow that. But when the feeling is off, follow your gut instinct. 9 out of 10, you'll save yourself a lot of heartache and a lot of headaches. But hopefully somebody did get something out of this tonight. Because yeah, there are some of you out there who are not in that position. And hopefully you won't be in that position if you play your cards right and if you do your due diligence. When things don't seem right on either end, this is when you have to act on these things. Better decisions, better execution, and you could possibly have a better life. Again, I would say if you ain't financially prepared or mentally stable and prepared or spiritually prepared, think twice before you bring any children in the world. Because once they're here, they're here. And there is no going back. The only person you will have to blame is yourself. Fellas, again, start wrapping it up. Ladies, you too. Start wrapping it up. Start caring more about yourselves. Start caring more about your bodies. And I'm going to definitely revisit this conversation, though. And tomorrow I'll definitely be back. If I'm not back in the early afternoon, I'll have another night discussion. And, have some fun with it. For those who are following me, again, at some point, if not, I'm going to try to do this probably next month. I'm going to try to bring back open mic music, poetry, and comedy because we need a lot of bit of that. Facts, James. Especially if you don't want to have to worry about any responsibility. Best bet is to keep yourself preserved until you are ready to have and ready to be in that scenario. For those that are celebrating birthdays this week, we did not forget about y'all. We did not forget about you. And again, hopefully y'all enjoy your week. Celebrating tonight, or you celebrating this weekend. Again, keep yourself safe. Enjoy every moment of life. Keep creating memories and keep being you. For those who are being inspired and motivated when it comes to the weight training, the weight loss, or anything along those lines. We didn't forget about y'all.
Just holler at me when they sober on parole. I'm a felon. You think I ain't got that blower? Yeah, you right, bro. Take his head off his fucking shoulder. You hear me? Hit the rollie stove with the rollie on. What was our getaway car? Jag portfolio. You hear me? Hey, I heard I had some sneak dissers. Whoever feeling hot, that AR got a heat sensor. Cuz said don't entertain them hungry niggas. I wish I would pay it.
If you desire to get yourself to a certain level, that's all you got to do. Just remind yourself to stay motivated and keep everything going. You already know what time it is. They ain't gonna encourage no madness because we have too much madness. Oh, wait a minute, we ain't forgetting about it. Serious, where you at? We got Grandpa Cleophas for you.
With the Heliante, with the Helion, with the Heliberry, with the Helibird.
Yes, yes. When you see that, you already know what time it is. Like I said, I think that's gonna be the new troll drop, y'all. New troll drop. But get your feel good on. We in the chill out part of the live stream now.
Some things don't work and that's the way love goes. I get it, I get it, I get it, I get it. It's over now, what time will tell.
Yeah, I'm gonna have to learn that dance. I'm gonna have to learn that dance next month. Well, no, I'm gonna have to learn that dance for July. Yeah. And for those who in the shadows watching, we ain't forget about y'all. We got something new for y'all.
Don't leave. I just love the way you got me feeling. Love the feeling.
Now, I told some of y'all to take this damn device from me, but none of y'all listen. And I know one of my peoples is still in the background watching, so here you can get this one too. For those who was just coming into the madness, don't worry. I got something for y'all too. We're gonna get you feel good on today. Yeah, don't worry, don't worry. Yeah, don't worry. And I think I'm gonna try to do that for the month of July. The first ever AI Natrix Awards is coming. Don't worry. I'm gonna let y'all pick out what y'all think is the best ones. And I'll let y'all pick out which is the worst one. But we also still gonna have fun, so you know.
Second bad, but somebody gotta do it. Got my foot up on the gas, but somebody gotta do it. Turn this TV off, turn this TV off.
Yes. Yes. And shout outs to everybody that's been a part of the build, still becoming a part of the build. And yes, we still want to have great conversations. And yes, you know, when the link is dropped, you got more than welcome to pop in on the conversation. It's always good to get different views and opinions and know that this is a safe space. You know, you're free to speak your mind and just be who you are. As long as there's a respect level for everybody, hey, more than welcome to join the family. But the madness will start right now. And shout outs again to Biracial for the drop. And yeah, my fault. One more again for the feel good people up in here. Hopefully you've been inspired and motivated for the day. But also encourage the madness. Yes. Embrace all the madness, y'all. Embrace all of this. But this is what happens when you get this much. Yes, yes. For the email that's coming.
Not my problem, that's just not my problem. Not my problem, that's just not my problem.
Yes, yes. Get your feel good on, y'all. Get your feel good on.
She want me on me like no. Sorry girl, but she gotta go. Sorry girl, but it's too much. 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 It's too much.
And again, for those people who are motivating to get themselves in the best shape, we got something for
You
you.
got a booty, I'm rubbing a butt. Like, baby girl, I wanna fuck. Like, get jiggy. 1-2 step in a box. 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 Get jiggy.
Yes, yes. Don't worry, I gotta find a Taco Tuesday one, but we definitely gonna be on it. For those who are about to go on vacation or celebrating vacation, we got something for y'all asses
Got a
too.
booty, I'm rubbing a butt. Like, baby girl, I wanna fuck. Like, get jiggy. 1-2 step in a box. Get jiggy.
Nah, but you know, again, appreciate everybody that's been a part of the build, and I'll definitely be back tomorrow. For those following me on Clapper, I could be back tomorrow as well for that. If not, I'm gonna try to do something early Thursday, definitely. But before we do get up out of here, embrace the madness one more game. Yes, embrace all the madness. Embrace all the madness. Oh yeah, and shout outs to Marlene. I forgot. I can't go without playing this.
I don't wanna go to work. I don't wanna wait tomorrow. I just ain't tryna go to work. I don't wanna wait tomorrow. I don't wanna go to work. I don't wanna wait tomorrow.
But yeah, let me get myself up out of here. It's time for me to get to adulting. But again, hopefully somebody did get something out of this. Appreciate those who shared the live out. Appreciate those who hit that like button. I know there's a lot of y'all who ain't hitting that like button, but I ain't even going to get mad about it. It don't matter. The message still gets out regardless. Only thing I am going to say is if you really do truly support the content and like the video, then hit that like button. I might not be the person you want to hear certain things from, but guess what? I ain't scared to talk about it. And I ain't scared to bring it to the forefront. So just remember that part. Always great to bring something to the people, and this is what we're going to keep doing. Don't matter if it's every day or every other day. But yeah, let me get myself up out of here. Oh, wait a minute. I didn't forget. I was supposed to drop this real quick. And for those who are still celebrating, we ain't forget about y'all neither. And I hope everybody feels good tonight. I hope everybody enjoyed their weekend. I hope everybody was safe and everything that they was doing this past weekend. You know, events and all of that. And again, try to keep yourself as safe as possible. Just follow your instincts when things don't seem right. And let me get you up out of here with this last one. But yeah, let me get myself up out of here. If y'all was new to the channel, like, share, comment, and subscribe. Shout out to the replay game. Shout out to the Shadow Mafia and the Shadow Babies. Y'all know what it is, baby. For everybody that was in attendance tonight, y'all already know that love is love and they'll be reciprocated as such. I don't know how to be fake. All I can do is give you real. And that's all I'm gonna do is give you real topics and real builds. Let me leave y'all with the good word of the day, the good word of the day. Well, let me leave you with the good dance out of the day.
Now, before we start to turn it out, you must first begin to breathe in, breathe out, breathe in, breathe out, breathe in, breathe out. Now drop, now drop, now drop, now drop. Breathe in, breathe out.
Y'all stay safe. Keep that third eye open. And until the next live, we out of here. Peace and blessings.